A lot of people are talking about Ripple's buyback, where they're buying back $1.4 billion of their stock as an indicator of something really bullish, an imminent IPO, something they know of on the horizon that will make the company wildly more valuable. I don't have that same take. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't think that is the reason they're doing this at all. So we'll go over that before we do. A lot going on today. Massive computer outage, knocking out banking system, hospitals, airlines, almost every industry hit. I mean, this was a big one. It's being reported it was caused by a CrowdStrike update. To be honest, I never really trust anything that has something to do with the government or tech. But it does show how fragile really our systems are and how reliant we are on all of these networks to function for everyday tasks. We have a quote from the great Hugo Phelan from Flare said, "We've had 15 years since the launch of Bitcoin. Could the current state of blockchain technology have offered a product that would have avoided today's global outage?" Because I saw a lot of people say, hey, we got XRP, that's still up and running. And while the ledger is running, probably RippleNet itself was affected. These blockchains are not to a scale that could, even as an ancillary, as a backup method, handle the global payments volume, not to mention all the other computer systems they need to ring up the transaction it was an unworkable solution, but it shows the need for technologies that are decentralized, that are not so reliant on a singular architecture. We need more redundancy out there. And at least with cryptocurrencies, all of those networks are still up and operating as expected. Why are politicians, starting to become very friendly about crypto? Well, I think you can see from this next story. President Trump asked for $844,000 for fundraiser seats at Bitcoin conference. Photo ops available for an additional $60,000 to $100,000. Just a lot of money out there. And plus, it's just important. You got your BlackRocks, your Fidelities. They want in. They need this. You have all the supporters out there that will support your campaign. It's all about the money, just like anything else. A lot of people are saying this person or that person isn't really into crypto. Well, no, of course not. That's the way this game works. They're not necessarily about, defense spending, or they may not inherently love the way our, medical is set up here in the United States and all the costs associated with it and all sorts of other industries, but it's about money and the associated power. And so it doesn't matter if a particular candidate has always been, pro-crypto. Those tides change because of the money and power that comes with it. You just can't stop innovation. CEO of Messari, Ryan Selkis, stepping down. The 2-bit idiot himself is done as CEO of Messari. Previously a mortal enemy of mine, still has me blocked on Twitter, but I've come around. I'm fine with Ryan. I like Messari. I think it's overpriced, but I do use it from time to time. But like normal, he let his emotions get the best of him. He put some tweets out there on X, posts, whatever you call them, that were politically charged and, not becoming of a CEO, of course, and so now he has to step down. All right, let's talk about this Ripple buyback here. And I posted this today, and I stand behind this. I disagree with the notion that Ripple's decision to spend $1.4 billion in cash to buy back stock is bullish or an indicative of preparations for a major event. Because that's what we're hearing people pitch out there. They pull out their kindergarten finance book and they're like, well, buybacks. They're trying to, make the earnings per share look better and get ready for an IPO. And look, they spent $1.4 billion cash. They're only going to sell at best a percentage of this company. How much would the value go up and how much are they going to raise in an IPO if they even do that? In my opinion, they're going to go the Coinbase route because clearly Ripple doesn't need more cash. They just spent $1.4 billion, buying back shares. For what? The hopes that sometime down the road you're going to IPO and raise a little more? Listen to me. This is a $10 to $12 billion company that just spent $1.4 billion. Do the math in your head. If they IPO'd, what percentage of this company would they sell and how much additional capital would they bring in based on this move? And if you have that money to make this move, do you really need more cash? Specifically with all the XRP they got. With Coinbase, they said, look, our equity is worth more than more money. We don't need more money. And so they did a direct listing to give those longtime investors and those employees that had earned stock options a liquid market to sell into. And people in the public wanted to invest, But Coinbase, the company, did not IPO. They did not issue any equity out to the market. And if they're going to go down that path, which they likely will, because again, they got a ton of cash, they got a lot of liquid XRP, they probably don't need to raise more funds. If they're not going to IPO and raise money as a company, would they burn a $1.4 billion to make sure those shareholders get a little bump in their direct listing? Like, it doesn't make sense. What's going on here? Well, I think it's pretty simple. Eventually, whether it's a settlement, the judge rules, there's going to be a dollar amount here they're going to have to pay the SEC. You already saw Ripple get sued by Tetragon. Now, they won that case, but as soon as this case is done with the SEC, you have some very large investors that are going to sue the hell out of them because they've been tied up in this company for a long time, and they're going to want to cash out. Ripple's just preemptively taking care of that. They're just clearing some risk off the board here, which is the prudent thing to do. It's a great thing as a business to act proactively and take care of a potential problem down the road. You want out, here's your money, we got plenty of cash. Like, that's smart business. I'm just saying it's not an indicator of anything else. Now, almost certainly, the last issue will be after this case closes, you'll probably see some sort of class action lawsuit. And that would be for your more minor shareholders. Because this $1.4 billion, that ain't going to, Joe Schmo that bought some equity on Linquinto. They're cashing out the heavy hitters that can cause a big problem. When that class action lawsuit arises, it'll go on for a little bit. It'll probably be kind of quiet in the background. And they'll probably pay him out. Not going to be a big deal, but it's just taking risk off the board, in my opinion, is what they're doing right now. I absolutely believe that Ripple will go public. I think it will start driving a lot of hype towards the end of next year as they get ready to do so. But it's going to take some time here. They got to build up that on-demand liquidity business. They got to launch and start getting revenues from their stablecoin business, their custody business. They just released today, their plan for expanding into crypto far beyond just payments. They need to show significant revenue from something other than selling XRP. They have the potential to get it done. I think they will execute, but I think you have to get those things in order before you even think about going public. Because if they went public right now and they put out a financial and said all of our money comes from selling XRP and we're losing money on on-demand liquidity, it has very little revenue, and we have all these other great ideas where we think it might be successful, it would be a nightmare. They're not going to do that. The last few years have been about one thing and one thing only: survival. But they're past that legal issue, and I think it's now time to grow and to really expand, and I think they'll do well. But that takes a little time. This $1.4 billion, I think, again, that's just taking some risk off the table. Smart move. I just don't think it's an indicator of some big event on the short horizon. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.